Cleveland in February, gray, cold, and full of secrets. Also, my marriage. I'm Mason Callahan, and I should have seen it coming. When your wife starts needing space and buying new lingerie she never wears around you, the writing's on the wall. Problem is, I was too busy reading blueprints to notice the graffiti. Mason, we need to talk, Erica said that Tuesday morning, standing in our kitchen like she was delivering a corporate presentation. Everything about my wife screamed polished professional, from her perfectly blown-out blonde hair to her designer heels that cost more than most people's rent. Sure, babe. What's up? I poured coffee into my favorite mug, the one that said, World's Okayest Engineer. Erica had given it to me 3 Christmases ago when she still found my self-deprecating humor charming instead of irritating. I think you should sleep on the couch tonight. I need the whole bed. She didn't even look at me, just scrolled through her phone like she was ordering takeout instead of kicking her husband out of his own bedroom. I set down my mug carefully. 20 years of structural engineering teaches you about stress points and when something's about to collapse. No problem, I said, grabbing my keys. I'll just upgrade. 2 hours later, I was checking into the Ritz-Carlton downtown, ordering room service steak, and posting a one-word Instagram story, upgrade. My phone buzzed immediately. My sister Donna, always the first to comment on family drama. What's going on? Are you okay? She texted. Define okay, I replied, cutting into a perfectly cooked ribeye that cost more than Erica's weekly Starbucks habit. Donna called within minutes. Mace? What happened? Erica needed space, so I gave her the whole house. You're at a hotel, aren't you? I can hear that fancy elevator music. I laughed despite myself. Donna knew me too well. The Ritz. If I'm getting kicked out, I'm doing it in style. There's something you need to know. Donna's voice dropped to that conspiratorial whisper she used when she had particularly juicy gossip. I saw Erica last week at Marble Room. She was with Victor Dorsey. Victor Dorsey. Erica's boss at the law firm, owner of a vintage black Dodge Charger, and possessor of an ego that could be seen from space. The kind of guy who wore expensive suits to hide his cheap personality. They were having lunch, I said, though something cold was already settling in my stomach. Mace, honey, nobody holds hands during a business lunch. And they definitely don't disappear into the bathroom together for 20 minutes. I nearly choked on my steak. 20 minutes? Paige was there with her Instagram crew. She got it all on video, but she's too scared to post it. Vic's got connections. Paige, Erica's best friend and professional social media vulture. If Paige had dirt and wasn't posting it, that meant it was nuclear-level gossip. I spent the night in Egyptian cotton sheets, staring at the ceiling and doing calculations. Not engineering calculations, revenge calculations. Because if there's one thing I learned from 20 years of fixing other people's structural failures, it's that every building has a weak point. You just need to know where to apply pressure. The next morning I drove home to grab some clothes. Erica's car was gone, but there was a black Charger in my driveway. I sat in my truck for a full minute, listening to my own heartbeat. You know the worst part of betrayal? The soundtrack is always the same. That steady thump-thump reminding you that you're still alive to feel every bit of it. Music and laughter drifted from inside my house. My house. The one I'd designed, the one where I'd installed every security camera, every smart lock, every system. The house that was suddenly hosting a party I wasn't invited to. I walked in through the front door like I owned the place. Because I did. Erica was on the couch with Victor, both of them holding wine glasses from our wedding china. She looked up with perfectly practiced surprise, like an actress who'd rehearsed this scene. Mason, I thought you were staying downtown tonight. Forgot my toothbrush, I lied smoothly, walking to the kitchen island where Victor had left his keys in the wooden bowl Erica's mother gave us. The same bowl where I dropped my keys every day for 8 years. Victor stood up, all 6 feet of entitled swagger. Callahan, awkward timing, buddy. Not really, I said, palming his keys while pretending to check the mail. I was just leaving. But first, I grabbed the open bottle of Cabernet and pretended to stumble, splashing red wine all over Victor's Italian leather shoes. Jesus Christ! Victor jumped back, but the damage was done. Those shoes probably cost more than most people's car payments. Oops, I said, not bothering to hide my smile. Guess I'm clumsier than I thought. Erica glared at me. Mason, that was completely unnecessary. You're right, I agreed. The wine was overkill. The shoes were already ugly. Victor's face turned the same color as the wine stain. You little... Careful, I interrupted. You're in my house, drinking my wine, sitting on my couch. I'd choose your next words very carefully. I left them there, sputtering and cleaning up wine, and drove back to the hotel. But not before making a quick stop at the Cleveland Fish Market. 3 hours later, Victor's pristine Charger was parked on the 17th green of Shaker Heights Country Club, all 4 windows down, interior flooded with 24 live catfish swimming in murky water. I filmed the whole thing and posted it to Nextdoor with the caption, "Found fishy car. Owner has crabs." By morning, Paige had shared the video on her Instagram. Victor Dorsey became Cleveland's newest meme, and Erica was getting calls from every gossip in their social circle. I was having breakfast in bed at the Ritz when my phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Heavy breathing, then, you want a war? You got one. The line went dead. I smiled and ordered more coffee. Finally, things were getting interesting. War, Victor had said. The problem with declaring war on an engineer is that we're trained to think systematically. We don't just knock down buildings, we study the foundation, identify the load-bearing walls, and then apply pressure at exactly the right points until the whole structure collapses. Victor and Erica were about to learn that lesson the hard way. I called in sick to work and spent Wednesday morning at my sister's house, planning. Donna lived in a converted warehouse in Tremont, all exposed brick and industrial fixtures. She worked as a freelance graphic designer, which meant she had flexible hours and an unhealthy addiction to other people's drama. So what's the plan? She asked, sliding a cup of coffee across her kitchen island. Information warfare, I said. I need everything you can find on Victor Dorsey. Social media, public records, club memberships, parking tickets, everything. I love it when you go full supervillain. Donna cracked her knuckles theatrically. What about Erica? Leave Erica to me. I know all her pressure points. Mace, are you sure about this? I mean, she's still your wife. I pulled out my phone and showed her the text I'd found on our shared iCloud account that morning. Can't wait for tonight. The bed will finally be ours. E. Donna's eyes widened. She sent this to Victor? Last Tuesday, the same day she kicked me out. Oh, honey. Donna's voice went soft. I'm so sorry. Don't be sorry. Be thorough. I want to know everything about Victor Dorsey, down to his shoe size and his mother's maiden name. While Donna worked her internet magic, I drove to Kurt's bar in Ohio City. The rusty Anchor wasn't much to look at. Dim lighting, sticky floors, and a jukebox that only played songs from 1987. But Kurt Brennan knew everyone's secrets, and his bartender's code only applied to paying customers. Victor Dorsey had never bought so much as a beer at the Anchor. Mace, Kurt looked up from polishing glasses. Heard you upgraded your living situation. News travels fast. Faster when it involves catfish and country clubs. Kurt grinned. That was beautiful, man. Pure art. Just getting started. Tell me about Victor Dorsey. Kurt's expression shifted. Ah, shit. He's the one, isn't he? He's the one. Okay, but you didn't hear this from me. Kurt leaned across the bar. Dorsey's got a reputation. HR complaints that mysteriously disappear, settlements that get buried, wives who look the other way because they like the lifestyle. What kind of reputation? The kind where he thinks consent is just a suggestion. 3 different women have come through here crying about him in the past 2 years, nothing they could prove, but My hands tightened around my beer bottle. Names? Can't do that, Mace. But I can tell you that one of them works at that fancy spa on Chagrin Boulevard. Another one teaches yoga at the community center. I filed that information away. What about his wife? Rebecca? Ice Queen. Knows exactly what her husband is, but she's not giving up the country club membership and the Range Rover. They have an understanding. What kind of understanding? The kind where she gets half of everything if she keeps her mouth shut, and he gets to play with his secretaries as long as he's discreet about it. Discreet. That was about to become Victor's biggest problem. I spent the rest of Wednesday setting up my surveillance network. The beauty of being married to someone for 8 years is that you know all their passwords, their schedules, their habits. Erica thought she was being sneaky, but I'd installed our home security system myself. Every camera, every motion sensor, every smart lock was connected to my phone. By Thursday morning, I had everything I needed. The footage was better than I'd hoped. Victor sneaking in through the back door at 11:30 a.m. while I was at work. Erica meeting him in the hallway wearing nothing but a silk robe. The two of them stumbling toward my bedroom, like teenagers who couldn't keep their hands off each other. I edited the footage into a silent movie montage, complete with title cards, The Lunch Break Lovers, a romantic comedy in 4 parts, and my personal favorite, Coming Soon, The Divorce Papers. The final product was 3 minutes of pure humiliation set to ragtime piano music. I uploaded it to a private YouTube channel and sent the link to exactly one person, Jennifer Walsh, president of the Shaker Heights Wives Club and owner of the biggest mouth in Cuyahoga County. My phone rang 20 minutes later. Mason Callahan, you are absolutely diabolical. Jennifer's voice was practically vibrating with excitement. I don't know what you're talking about. The video, honey. The one that's currently being shared in every group chat from Beechwood to Bay Village. What video? Play dumb all you want, but this is the best thing to happen to our social circle since the Hendersons' divorce. Victor Dorsey finally got caught with his pants down. Literally. I hung up and checked my analytics. The video had been viewed 847 times in the past hour. By evening, it would be viral throughout Cleveland's upper-middle-class social scene. Phase 1 was complete. Friday morning brought the consequences. My phone buzzed with a text from Erica. We need to talk. Now. I found her at Starbucks on Chagrin Boulevard, sitting in the corner booth we used to share on Saturday mornings when we still liked each other. She looked terrible. Dark circles under her eyes, her usually perfect hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, no makeup. For the first time in months, she looked human instead of corporate. How could you do this to me? She whispered as I sat down. Do what? Don't play stupid, Mason. The video. Everyone's seen it. I still don't know what you're talking about. She leaned forward, desperation making her voice crack. My mother called me at 6 this morning, 6 a.m., Mason. Do you know what it's like to have your mother ask if you're having an affair while you're still in bed with your lover? Sounds awkward, I said, stirring sugar into my coffee. Maybe you should have thought about that before you decided to redecorate our bedroom with Victor's clothes. It's not what you think. Really? Because I think you've been screwing your boss in our bed while I was at work. Am I wrong? Erica's face crumpled. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. It just happened, she whispered. We didn't plan it. Bullshit. You planned it the day you kicked me out of our bedroom. You planned it when you told me you needed space. You planned it when you bought that red lingerie I've never seen you wear. Her eyes widened. How did you... I know everything, Erica. The question is, what are you going to do about it? She straightened up, and I saw a flash of the woman who'd climbed the corporate ladder at one of Cleveland's most prestigious law firms. What do you want? I want you to understand that this is just the beginning. You humiliated me in my own home. Now I'm returning the favor. Mason, please. We can work this out. We can go to counseling. We can... No. I stood up, leaving my coffee untouched. We can't. Because this isn't about our marriage anymore, Erica. This is about consequences. As I walked away, I heard her phone buzzing with notifications. Probably more friends calling to ask about the video, more social invitations being rescinded, more whispers following her wherever she went. By the time I got home, there were 17 missed calls on my phone and a black Charger parked across the street. Victor was waiting for me. Victor Dorsey stood in my driveway like he owned it, all designer suit and barely contained rage. His face was the color of an overripe tomato, and his perfectly styled hair looked like he'd been running his hands through it for hours. "You son of a bitch," he snarled as I got out of my truck. "Good afternoon to you too, Victor." Lovely day, isn't it? You think you're funny? You think this is some kind of game? I looked him up and down slowly, taking in his expensive suit, his gold watch, his Italian leather shoes, different ones since I'd ruined the others with wine. "I think you're standing in my driveway, making threats. That seems like poor judgment for a man who's already having a very bad week. Take down the video." "What video?" His hands clenched into fists. "Don't play stupid with me, Callahan. I know you made it. I'm an engineer, Victor. I design buildings, not movies. Though I have to say, whoever made that video has a real talent for comedy. The ragtime music was a nice touch. I'll destroy you." I laughed. Actually laughed, right in his face. "With what? Your connections? Your money? Your reputation?" I stepped closer, and he instinctively took a step back. "Newsflash, Victor. Your reputation is currently circulating through every smartphone in Shaker Heights. Your connections are probably changing their phone numbers as we speak. And your money? Well, let's just say divorce lawyers are expensive. My wife won't leave me. Maybe not. But Erica's going to cost you plenty. HR managers who sleep with their bosses tend to file sexual harassment lawsuits when things go south, especially when there's video evidence of the relationship." The color drained from his face. He hadn't thought of that angle. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" Erica's already talking to lawyers. Something about a hostile work environment and quid pro quo sexual harassment. Apparently, she has emails, text messages, even some interesting audio recordings. I smiled. "You really should be more careful about what you say during pillow talk, Victor." That was a complete lie, but Victor didn't know that. His Adam's apple bobbed as he swallowed hard. "What do you want?" "I want you to get in your ridiculous car and drive away. I want you to leave my wife alone. And I want you to understand that if you ever threaten me again, I'll make that little video look like a love letter." He stood there for a long moment, clearly weighing his options. Finally, he turned and walked back to his Charger, but not before giving me a look that promised this wasn't over. I waited until he drove away before pulling out my phone and calling Donna. "Phase 2, I said when she answered. "I'm listening. I need you to create some social media accounts, fake ones, and I need you to start spreading some very specific rumors about Victor Dorsey." "What kind of rumors?" "The kind that are just believable enough to stick. Performance issues, gambling debts, that sort of thing. Nothing we can get sued for, but enough to make people whisper." "Mace, are you sure about this? This is getting pretty intense." "He threatened me in my own driveway, Donna. He's sleeping with my wife in my bed. Intense is exactly what he deserves." By Saturday morning, Cleveland's social media was buzzing with whispers about Victor Dorsey. Anonymous posts on neighborhood Facebook groups hinting at financial troubles. Blind items on gossip blogs about a prominent lawyer with performance anxiety. Fake reviews on medical websites praising a local urologist for his discreet and understanding approach to masculine problems. None of it was traceable back to me, but all of it was devastating to a man whose entire identity was built on projecting power and success. The real masterpiece came Sunday evening. I'd spent the weekend editing security footage from my house, creating a highlight reel of Victor's visits. Not the explicit stuff. I wasn't interested in revenge porn. Instead, I focused on the ridiculous moments. Victor sneaking around like a cartoon burglar, hiding behind trees when neighbors walked by, once actually diving behind my garbage cans when Mrs. Fenwick came out to get her mail. I set it to yakety sax and titled it, The Secret Life of Victor Dorsey, a Documentary. This time, I didn't send it to Jennifer Walsh. I sent it directly to Rebecca Dorsey, Victor's Ice Queen wife, along with a simple note. Thought you should know what your husband does during his lunch breaks. A concerned neighbor. Rebecca's response was swift and public. Monday morning, Victor's belongings were on the front lawn of their Pepper Pike mansion, and Rebecca was at the country club telling anyone who would listen about her husband's midlife crisis and complete lack of discretion. By Tuesday, Victor was staying at a residence inn and fielding calls from divorce lawyers. But I wasn't done yet. Wednesday brought the pièce de résistance. I'd been saving the best footage for last, a compilation of Victor's most embarrassing moments, including the time he got his tie caught in my bedroom door and spent 5 minutes trying to free himself while Erica laughed at him from the bed. I uploaded it to TikTok with the hashtag Cleveland Cheater and watched it go viral. Within hours, Victor Dorsey was a meme. Someone had auto-tuned his voice from one of the videos, turning his frustrated grunts into a techno song. Another user had created a dance to go with the yakety sax footage. By Thursday, hashtag Victor Dorsey Challenge was trending locally, with people recreating his ridiculous sneaking around behavior. That's when Victor made his biggest mistake. He showed up at the Rusty Anchor Thursday night, drunk and looking for a fight. Kurt called me immediately. You need to get down here, Kurt said. Your boy Victor is here, and he's telling anyone who'll listen that he's going to kick your ass. I'll be right there. The Anchor was packed when I arrived, mostly with blue-collar guys who had no love for entitled rich boys throwing tantrums. Victor was at the bar, tie loosened, jacket off, looking like a man who'd lost everything and was ready to take it out on someone. He saw me the moment I walked in. There he is, Victor shouted, loud enough for the entire bar to hear. Mason fucking Callahan, the puppet master. The bar went quiet. Every eye was on us. Hello, Victor, I said calmly, walking to the bar. Rough week? You destroyed my life. I didn't destroy anything. I just turned on the lights. He swung at me then, a wild, drunken haymaker that I saw coming from a mile away. I stepped aside, and Victor's momentum carried him into the bar, where he knocked over 3 beer bottles and a bowl of pretzels. The bar erupted in laughter. You missed, I said, grabbing a wet bar towel from Kurt's station, but this won't. I snapped the towel at Victor's ass like we were in a high school locker room. The crack echoed through the bar, and Victor yelped like a kicked dog. More laughter. Someone started recording with their phone. Victor straightened up, his face purple with rage and humiliation. I'm going to kill you. No, I said quietly, stepping close enough that only he could hear me. You're going to go home, pack what's left of your dignity, and disappear. Because if you don't, I'll release the audio recordings. What audio recordings? I smiled. The ones from my home security system. The ones where you and Erica discuss your little real estate scheme. His face went white. How did you... I'm an engineer, Victor. I design systems. Did you really think I wouldn't record audio along with video? That was another bluff, but Victor was too drunk and panicked to call it. He stumbled toward the door, but I wasn't done with him yet. Hey, Victor, I called out, loud enough for everyone to hear. Next time you want to have an affair, maybe don't do it in an engineer's house. We tend to be thorough about documentation. The bar erupted in applause and laughter as Victor fled into the night. But as I watched him go, I knew this wasn't over. Men like Victor Dorsey don't just disappear quietly. They escalate. And escalation was exactly what I was counting on. Victor's escalation came sooner than expected, and it was more desperate than I'd anticipated. Friday morning, I woke up in my hotel room to 17 missed calls and a string of panicked text messages from Donna. Call me now. Mace, This is serious. He's lost his mind. I called her back immediately. What happened? Victor broke into your house last night. The police are there now. My blood ran cold. Is anyone hurt? No, but Mace, he trashed the place. I mean, really trashed it. And he left a message. I was already getting dressed. What kind of message? You need to see it for yourself. 20 minutes later, I was standing in my living room, staring at the aftermath of Victor Dorsey's complete mental breakdown. My furniture was overturned, my TV was smashed, and someone had spray-painted "Dead Man" across my kitchen wall in red letters. Detective Sarah Martinez, a no-nonsense woman in her 40s, was taking photos of the damage. Mr. Callahan, I understand you've been having problems with Victor Dorsey. You could say that? Any idea why he might have targeted your home specifically? I looked around at the destruction, calculating. This wasn't just vandalism. This was a gift. Victor had just handed me everything I needed to destroy him completely. Detective, I think Victor's been having some kind of breakdown. His wife left him, he's been drinking heavily, and he's been making threats. What kind of threats? He confronted me in my driveway earlier this week, said he was going to destroy me. Then, Thursday night at the Rusty Anchor, he threatened to kill me in front of about 30 witnesses. Detective Martinez made notes. We'll need those witnesses' names. Kurt Brennan, the bartender, can give you a list. The whole thing was recorded on someone's phone. It's probably on social media by now. Mr. Callahan, is there anything else I should know about your relationship with Mr. Dorsey? I hesitated, then decided on a version of the truth. He's been having an affair with my wife. I found out about it, and I may have embarrassed him publicly. I think he blames me for his marriage falling apart. How did you embarrass him? I posted some security footage online. Nothing illegal, just unflattering. Detective Martinez raised an eyebrow but didn't press. We'll need copies of any footage you have, especially anything that shows Mr. Dorsey on your property. Of course. I have extensive security coverage. What I didn't tell Detective Martinez was that I had footage of Victor breaking in, but I also had something much more valuable. Audio of him talking to himself while he destroyed my house, including several specific threats and a detailed confession of his affair with Erica. My security system was more sophisticated than anyone realized. After the police left, I sat in my destroyed living room and called my insurance company. Then I called a contractor. Then I called the best divorce lawyer in Cleveland. Robert Chen's office, the receptionist answered. I need to speak with Mr. Chen immediately. This is Mason Callahan, and I have video evidence of adultery, breaking and entering, and terroristic threatening. Hold, please. Robert Chen was exactly what I needed. Ruthless, expensive, and completely without sentiment. His office overlooked Lake Erie, and his reputation for destroying cheating spouses was legendary in Cleveland legal circles. Mr. Callahan, he said, shaking my hand with the grip of a man who crushed opponents for a living. I understand you have an interesting situation. That's one way to put it. I handed him a USB drive. Everything's on there. Security footage, audio recordings, financial records, text messages. My wife has been having an affair with her boss, and last night he broke into my house and threatened my life. Chen plugged in the drive and started scrolling through files. His eyebrows climbed higher with each video. This is comprehensive. I'm an engineer. I believe in documentation. Mr. Callahan, with evidence like this, we can not only guarantee you a favorable divorce settlement, we can probably have your wife's lover arrested for stalking, breaking and entering, and terroristic threatening. I want both of them to understand that actions have consequences. Oh, they will. Trust me on that. By Monday morning, Victor Dorsey was in jail, charged with breaking and entering, vandalism, and making terroristic threats. The audio recording of his breakdown in my house, where he'd confessed to the affair and made specific threats against my life, was played on the local news. Erica called me that afternoon, crying. Mason, please, you have to help him. He's not thinking clearly. He's been drinking. He's under so much stress. He broke into our house and threatened to kill me, Erica. He didn't mean it. He's just what? Having a bad week? Poor impulse control? Midlife crisis? Please, Mason, I'm begging you, drop the charges. No. What do you want? Money? The house? I'll give you whatever you want. I want you to understand something, Erica. For 8 years, I gave you everything. I designed and built our dream house. I supported your career. I was faithful, loyal, and boring. And you repaid me by fucking your boss in our bed while I was at work. Mason, I'm not finished. You didn't just cheat on me. You humiliated me. You made me a fool in my own home, so now I'm returning the favor. What does that mean? It means Victor's going to jail. It means you're going to be unemployed. Sexual harassment policies work both ways, and no law firm wants an HR manager who sleeps with partners. It means your social circle is going to treat you like a pariah. And it means I'm going to take you for everything you're worth in the divorce. You can't do this. I already am. I hung up and immediately called Robert Chen. File everything, I told him. Divorce papers, restraining orders, the works, and make sure the press gets copies of the security footage. Mr. Callahan, are you sure you want to go public with this? It could get messy. Messy is the point. That evening, the story hit the local news. Prominent attorney arrested after affair turns violent. They showed the footage of Victor breaking into my house, played the audio of his threats, and interviewed neighbors about the shocking scandal that had rocked Cleveland's legal community. By Wednesday, Victor had been fired from his law firm. Erica had been placed on administrative leave, pending an internal investigation. Their faces were all over social media, and #ClevelandCheater was trending again. But this time, it wasn't funny. It was a cautionary tale about what happens when privileged people think they're above consequences. Thursday brought my favorite development. Paige, Erica's former best friend, posted a tell-all video on her Instagram, complete with screenshots of text messages where Erica had bragged about her affair and mocked me for being clueless. I can't stay silent anymore, Paige said to her camera, tears streaming down her perfectly contoured cheeks. Erica Callahan is not the woman you think she is. She's manipulative, she's cruel, and she destroyed a good man's life because she was bored. The video went viral locally. Within hours, Erica was getting death threats from strangers and had to deactivate all her social media accounts. Friday evening, I was back in my house, cleaned, repaired, and equipped with an even more sophisticated security system, when my doorbell rang. It was Erica standing on my porch with 2 suitcases and the look of a woman who'd lost everything. I have nowhere else to go, she said quietly. That's not my problem. Mason, please. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I made a terrible mistake, and I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. No, you won't. Because we're done. I love you. You love security. You love status. You love the idea of not having to face consequences for your choices. But you don't love me, Erica. You never did. That's not true. Then why did you cheat? She opened her mouth, then closed it. We both knew there was no good answer to that question. The divorce papers will be served Monday, I said. My lawyer will be in touch about the settlement. I suggest you find somewhere else to stay. I closed the door and watched through the peephole as she stood there for 5 full minutes, crying. Then she picked up her suitcases and walked away. But I knew this wasn't over. Desperate people do desperate things, and Erica was nothing if not desperate. I was counting on it. Erica's desperation manifested in ways I hadn't anticipated, which was saying something considering I'd spent weeks planning for every contingency. Saturday morning, I woke up to my bank calling about unusual account activity. Mr. Callahan, we're showing several large transfers from your joint checking account. Did you authorize these transactions? I was instantly awake. What kind of transfers? 3 separate transfers totaling $47,000 moved to an account under your wife's name. No, I absolutely did not authorize those transfers. We'll freeze both accounts immediately and start the fraud. Investigation process. I hung up and immediately called Robert Chen. Erica just cleaned out our joint accounts. How much? 47,000. That's felony theft. We can have her arrested. Not yet. I want to see how far she's willing to go. The answer came Monday afternoon. I returned home from work to find my house had been burglarized again. But this time, it wasn't Victor's drunken rampage. This was methodical, targeted. Erica had taken specific items: my grandfather's watch, my mother's jewelry, the signed baseball collection I'd been building since I was 12. She'd also left a note, "You owe me this much." And I called Detective Martinez immediately. "Mr. Callahan, I have to ask, are you sure your wife took these items? Check the security footage." We watched together as Erica let herself in with a key I hadn't gotten around to changing, methodically going through the house and selecting items to steal. She knew exactly where everything was, knew exactly what was valuable. "That's breaking and entering, burglary, and theft," Detective Martinez said. "We can arrest her tonight." Do it. Erica's arrest made the evening news. The footage of her being led away in handcuffs, crying and protesting her innocence, was shared thousands of times on social media. The comments were brutal. "Karma is a bitch. She's getting exactly what she deserves. This is what happens when you mess with the wrong man." But the real coup de grace came Tuesday morning when I discovered what Erica had really been up to. My contractor, Danny Kowalski, called me at work. "Mason, you need to get over here right now." "What's wrong?" "Just get here. And bring your lawyer." I found Danny standing in my backyard with 2 police officers and a woman I didn't recognize. "Mason Callahan?" the woman asked. "I'm Detective Lisa Park, Financial Crimes Unit. We need to talk." "About what?" "About the insurance claim your wife filed on this property." My blood ran cold. "What insurance claim?" Detective Park showed me a tablet with an official form on it. "Mrs. Callahan filed a claim for flood damage to your house, claiming a burst pipe caused $50,000 in damage. She submitted photos, contractor estimates, the works. There was no flood damage. We know. The photos were staged, the contractor estimates were forged, and the whole thing was an attempt to defraud your insurance company out of $50,000. I stared at the form, recognizing Erica's signature at the bottom. "She used my name on this." "Yes, which makes you technically complicit, unless you can prove you had no knowledge of the fraud." "I can prove it." I pulled out my phone and showed them the security footage from the day Erica had supposedly discovered the flood damage. The video clearly showed her spraying water around the basement with a garden hose, then taking photos of the artificial damage. "She documented her own fraud," Detective Park said, shaking her head. "I've never seen anything like it." Erica always was thorough. By Wednesday, Erica was facing charges for theft, burglary, breaking and entering, and insurance fraud. The local media was having a field day with the story of the Cleveland socialite's crime spree. That's when she made her final, desperate play. Thursday evening, I was having dinner at the Rusty Anchor when Kurt nodded toward the door. "Your fan club's here." I turned to see Erica walking in, flanked by 2 women I recognized from her social circle, Jennifer Walsh and Patricia Hendricks, both wives of prominent Cleveland businessmen. They approached my table like they were staging an intervention. "Mason," Jennifer said, sliding into the booth across from me, "we need to talk." "About what?" "About Erica," Patricia added. "She's our friend, and we think you're being unnecessarily cruel." I looked at the 3 women, noting their expensive clothes, their perfect makeup, their entitled expressions. "Cruel how?" "The charges are excessive," Jennifer said. "She made some mistakes, but she doesn't deserve to go to prison." She stole from me. She committed fraud. She broke into my house. She was emotional, Patricia insisted. Women do crazy things when their marriages fall apart. So do men. Ask Victor Dorsey. Erica finally spoke up. Mason, please. I'm begging you. Drop the charges and I'll disappear. You'll never see me again. Where would you go? My sister in Phoenix. I'll start over. I'll never bother you again. I studied her face, looking for any sign of genuine remorse. All I saw was calculation and desperation. No. Mason, no. You don't get to steal from me, lie to me, cheat on me, and then negotiate your way out of the consequences. Jennifer leaned forward. You're destroying her life. She destroyed mine first. That's different. How? She's a woman. She's vulnerable now. I laughed. Erica Callahan has never been vulnerable a day in her life. She's manipulative, calculating, and completely without remorse. The only thing she's sorry about is getting caught. You're being vindictive, Patricia said. I'm being thorough. There's a difference. Erica started crying then, big, theatrical tears that had probably worked on every man she'd ever manipulated. Mason, I love you. I made a mistake, but I love you. If you loved me, you wouldn't have fucked Victor Dorsey in our bed. If you loved me, you wouldn't have stolen our money. If you loved me, you wouldn't have tried to frame me for insurance fraud. I was desperate. You were greedy. There's a difference. I stood up and threw $20 on the table. Ladies, enjoy your evening. Erica, enjoy your trial. As I walked toward the door, I heard Jennifer call out, You'll regret this, Mason. No one will ever trust you again. I turned back. Maybe not. But they'll respect me, and that's worth more than your approval. Friday morning brought news that Victor Dorsey had taken a plea deal, 2 years probation, and a hefty fine in exchange for staying away from me and Erica permanently. His legal career was over, his marriage was over, and his reputation was destroyed. But Erica wasn't done fighting. Saturday night, she made her final, most desperate move, and this time, she brought help. The storm hit Cleveland Saturday night with the fury of Lake Erie in February, howling wind, driving rain, and the kind of cold that cuts through your bones. I was in my living room, reading and listening to the weather rage outside, when my security system chimed. Motion detected. Front yard. I checked the camera feed and saw 2 figures approaching my house through the rain. Erica and a man I didn't recognize, tall, broad-shouldered, wearing a black coat with the hood up. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Last chance. Drop the charges or we come in. I smiled and started recording on my phone. Then I activated the livestream feature on my security system, broadcasting to my Nextdoor account, my social media, and a group chat I'd set up with my neighbors. Within minutes, I had dozens of viewers watching the feed. The man tried my front door first, locked, of course. Then they moved around to the back, where Erica used her key to open the sliding glass door. Mason, Erica called out as they entered. We need to talk. I stayed in my living room, phone recording, live stream running. We're talking. Say hello to the internet, Erica. You're live on Nextdoor. She appeared in the doorway, soaking wet and furious. The man behind her was younger than I'd expected, maybe 30, with the kind of muscles that came from a gym membership and too much testosterone. This is Marcus, Erica said. My friend. Hello, Marcus. You're breaking and entering on live television. Smile for the cameras. Marcus looked around nervously, finally noticing the security cameras in every corner. Erica, you didn't say anything about cameras. Turn off the stream, Mason, Erica demanded. No. Turn it off, or Marcus is going to make you turn it off. I looked at Marcus, who was clearly having second thoughts about whatever Erica had promised him. Marcus, can I give you some free advice? Shut up, Erica snapped. Erica's already facing felony charges for theft, burglary, and fraud. If you assault me on camera, you'll be facing the same charges, Plus, whatever she promised you isn't worth a prison sentence. Marcus looked at Erica uncertainly. You said he wouldn't call the cops. He won't, Erica said. He's too proud. Actually, I already called them, I said, holding up my phone. They're about 3 minutes away. You should probably leave. We're not leaving until you drop the charges, Erica said. Then you're going to jail. That's when Marcus made his move. He lunged toward me, but I was ready. 20 years of construction sites had taught me how to handle aggressive men, and Marcus was all muscle and no technique. I sidestepped his charge and grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, a bottle of wine from the rack Erica had given me for our anniversary. As Marcus stumbled past me, I brought the bottle down on the back of his head. He went down hard, wine and glass exploding everywhere. Marcus! Erica screamed, dropping to her knees beside him. He's fine, I said, checking my phone. Concussed, maybe, but fine. The camera's got everything, by the way. Self-defense is legal in Ohio. The livestream chat was exploding with comments. Holy shit, Mason just took that guy down. Did anyone else see that bottle technique? Erica's losing her mind on camera? Someone call 911. Already called. Cops are on the way. Erica looked up at me with pure hatred. You destroyed my life. No, Erica. I documented it. You destroyed your own life when you decided to cheat on me, steal from me, and break into my house with your boyfriend. He's not my boyfriend. What is he then? She didn't answer, but Marcus groaned and tried to sit up. Erica, what the hell? You said he was some weak engineer. You didn't say anything about security cameras or wine bottles. Shut up, Marcus. Did she pay you? I asked him. Marcus looked confused. Pay me? She said you were abusing her, that she needed help getting her stuff back. I showed him my phone, where the live stream was still running. Does this look like abuse to you? She broke into my house with you as muscle, and you attacked me on camera. The sound of sirens was getting closer. Marcus, I said conversationally, how much do you know about Erica's situation? She said you were keeping her stuff, that you had her trapped. Did she mention the affair? The theft? The insurance fraud? Marcus looked at Erica, who was staring at the floor. What affair? She's been sleeping with her boss for months. That's why we're getting divorced. She also stole $50,000 from our accounts and tried to frame me for insurance fraud. Erica, is that true? It's complicated, she whispered. No, I said, it's really not. The police arrived then. 3 cars, sirens blazing, lights cutting through the storm. Detective Martinez led the charge, taking in the scene. Marcus on the floor with a head wound, Erica kneeling beside him, me standing with my phone still recording, and wine splattered across my living room like a crime scene. Mr. Callahan, are you all right? I'm fine. They broke in, he attacked me, I defended myself. It's all on camera. Detective Martinez looked at the security monitor where the live stream was still running. How many people are watching this? I checked my phone. 237. It's been shared about 50 times already. Erica Callahan, Detective Martinez said, you're under arrest for breaking and entering, violation of a restraining order, and conspiracy to commit assault. I wasn't. Ma'am, you're on camera breaking into this house with an accomplice who then attacked the homeowner. You have the right to remain silent, and I strongly suggest you use it. As they handcuffed Erica, she looked at me one last time. This isn't over, Mason. Yes, it is. Marcus was arrested too, charged with breaking and entering and assault. The paramedics checked his head wound. Minor concussion. Nothing serious. After everyone left, I sat in my living room, surrounded by broken glass and wine stains, and checked my phone. The video had been shared over 1,000 times. The comments were overwhelmingly supportive. Mason Callahan is a hero. That's how you handle a crazy ex-wife. Best reality TV I've seen all year. Someone needs to give this man a medal. Sunday morning, the story was on the local news again. Cleveland engineer defends home against ex-wife's break-in. They showed clips from the livestream, interviewed neighbors who praised my calm under pressure, and revealed that Erica was now facing 6 felony charges. Monday brought the best news of all. Robert Chen called to tell me that Erica's legal troubles had convinced her to accept our divorce settlement without contest. She would get nothing, no alimony, no property, no shared assets. In exchange, I wouldn't pursue additional charges for the break-in. She's also agreed to a permanent restraining order, Chen said. She can't come within 500 feet of you or your property. What about Marcus? He's cooperating with police. Apparently, Erica told him you were an abusive husband who was holding her prisoner. He had no idea about the affair or the theft. He's looking at probation and community service. Tuesday, I got a call from a local podcast wanting to interview me about standing up to manipulative partners. Wednesday, a regional magazine wanted to do a feature story about Cleveland's most notorious divorce. By Thursday, #Mason Callahan was trending on social media, and I was being hailed as a folk hero for men who'd been wronged by cheating spouses. Friday evening, I was back at the Rusty Anchor, celebrating with Kurt and a crowd of supporters who'd been following the story. The bar was packed, everyone wanting to buy me drinks and hear the story firsthand. So what's next? Kurt asked as he poured me a beer. Next, I'm going to finish renovating my house, maybe take a vacation, and definitely change all the locks. What about dating? I think I'll wait until the restraining order expires. I've had enough drama for one lifetime. My phone buzzed with a notification. Someone had tagged me in a post. Mason Callahan just proved that nice guys don't have to finish last. Sometimes they finish first, and their cheating ex-wives finish in jail. I raised my beer to the crowd. Here's to consequences. The bar erupted in cheers. Outside, the storm had passed, and Cleveland was quiet under a blanket of fresh snow. My house was waiting for me, clean, secure, and finally mine again. For the first time in months, I felt like the king of my own castle.